God, I hate the setup of the lights in this apartment. I just don't like. I think I've organized my lamp and everything in a bad format. Anyway, okay, we are beginning.
Woo!
I am begin podcast. Okay, this week's podcast is brought to you by Ruby Red Grapefruit Buzzballs Chillers, and also really awful Christmas movies.
Yeah. This week's podcast is also brought to you by Gnocchi and Surprise Dildos. And I'm going to toss bad Christmas movies in there, too.
Surprise dildos are the best kinds of dildos. I am your host, Madison.
And I am your other host, Jesse James. Strong disagree. Dildos shouldn't be a surprise, necessarily.
Fair enough.
I'm going to start this podcast off. We're moving in towards the holiday, so I figure my poor person flavors need to be exercised.
Okay.
So I've got this half syrup mint latte.
Yeah.
That's just happening. That was part of a Christmas party's gift that I'll get to. I also have this, I'm sure will go well with it, this fine sangria that I'm going to open.
Oh, here. I'll do some ASMR as well. Some Buzzballs ASMR. If I can actually get my nail under here. Wait, where's my mic? Okay, here. Oh.
It hitting you in the face really helps with the ASMR.
It definitely just splattered all over my laptop.
Excellent.
Which is what you want.
Well, now you can get the ASMR of trying to clean a keyboard without stopping what you're doing. Yeah,
just. Is that a good sound? I guess it's not. You can't hear it probably. Boy.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to try some of this. Looks like it's mostly grape wine.
Grape wine.
Oh, boy.
Okay, it sounds good by your reaction. Delicious.
It's not bad. It has that, I might be the only one who does this or has done it partially as a joke and then stuck with it. Oh, you look excited about yours as well.
It's real good. It's so good.
It tastes like when I add wine to rum. So it's got that kind of like that astringent flavor underneath wine, which I've definitely had sangria like that, but not this one.
Do you watch Schitt's Creek?
No, I've heard the name.
So I'd highly recommend it, but there's it's really funny. But there's one episode where the main characters, one of the main characters is like this older actress who's did a lot of like famous things early on in her career. Now she's not exactly like has been, but just older, farther into her career. But she is trying to like revive her celebrity, and she tries to get a spot in this commercial for a winery. Is that the correct term? Am I saying that?
Yeah,
okay.
Like a place that wine comes from.
A wine place, and their product is a fruit wine. They all call it fruit wine, as if there's like another kind of wine, but they all refer to it as fruit wine, and it's like a running joke. Anyway, you saying grape wine really reminded me of that. I thought it was funny.
Well,
that's pretty much fruit wine. That's what sangria is. Yeah, premium grape wine and natural flavors, but we're not going to say them though.
Don't get it twisted. It is grape wine. It says it is made with pineapple, grape, lemon, pomegranate, orange, pear, apple, cherry, and lime juice.
Oh, okay.
But Huh.
Um,
I can't really taste any specific juice in here.
Mine does not have a ingredients list. It says woman owned, so that's something.
Ooh.
And a government warning about not drinking while you're pregnant, and also okay, orange wine with grapefruit juice.
Huh.
So
Is that why the flavor's so good?
that's probably why. And also, I just found out I was supposed to shake it before I opened
Oh,
it.
well, too late for that. Just put your mouth over the hole and shake it into your mouth. Yeah, there you go.
Is that some good ASMR?
Yeah.
That was good.
Also, we're planning on putting these videos online at some point, I
Oh,
assume.
yeah.
So, as long as you don't get in that deepfake community, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm good.
I have another trashy thing, and it is a fake Twinkie. It is made by Jewy and Company. That's
Wait.
Jouy, not
Okay.
whatever you're thinking. Um,
I don't know why my mind
can you
went there.
can you read this for people?
Uh, Cravings, spongies,
Uh-huh.
cream-filled sponge cake. Definitely not Twinkie.
Can you read the place that makes it?
Chewy and go.
Okay, just getting uh making sure. I don't want
Or
to be the only one that
maybe
way.
it's supposed to sound kind of like French, like joy, joie.
Oh, yes, very French. I would
Yes,
have mistaken you for a French person right there.
that
Now,
happens.
this looks exactly like a Twinkie, so I'll give it that.
It does. That's pretty good looking.
Oh, oh,
Um,
oh, that's stiff.
no, that's not what
Also,
you
that's
look
not
for in a cookie.
that's not a lot of cream.
I would say not sufficient cream.
Also, it tastes like something, but not Twinkie.
Mm.
What is that flavor? Oh, that flavor might be mint latte and capriccio sangria mixing together too.
Wow, we're going like around the world in 80 days here. This is just amazing. French Twinkies and uh, fruit wine.
Let's see where the Twinkie is from. Whoa, is that the ingredients? Because that's a lot.
Oh boy. I love it when my sponge cake has multiple. Holy shit. Is that all worked?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought it was like a pattern.
No. It does say ingredients cake 78% as the first one. So there's that.
Is the next ingredient sponge?
No. The next ingredient is pasteurized egg white. I don't know. Doesn't sound
Right.
terrible.
I mean,
Let's see.
that's pretty much cream filling, so that makes sense.
Serving size 1 cake. Yes, but what country? Oh, the Netherlands. It's not French at all.
Dang. Okay.
Slightly more French than us. I did eat that one, but
French
I do want you to know that I have this as well.
Oh my god. It's a
And
Christmas miracle.
it's no less ingrediented.
Just the same, but with chocolate.
That's what it looks like.
Have you ever had one of these buzz balls? Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no, but I would love to try it.
They're 15% alcohol by volume.
Oh.
So
mine's
I
14,
understand why
so
it's called
really.
that. Hey.
Here we'll
Skype.
Yeah. Perfect.
Clink. Mine is made out of plastic, so there's not very good clinking sounds to be had.
It's got a click to it. I will say this is our latest podcast we've ever done. Is it 9 o'clock there? It's in the same area. It's 9 o'clock. I would like to try one at midnight because I feel like that's when the magic happens.
I agree. Yeah.
But we can do that later.
At midnight.
At midnight. Not tonight at midnight.
You don't want to do a back-to-back podcast extravaganza?
We can, but we're going to get into some topics that are real weird, I feel like, at that point.
I mean, hey, that's an idea at some point if we ever amass a following to do a fundraiser and just podcast for like 24 straight hours.
I could do it, but it wouldn't be fun for other people. I feel like we need a Twitch channel or something, and we can like stream us doing anything else, because once we're like 2 hours into talking, we're going to be, you know, too raw.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna have
like
a lot of
on
heated
my mental
gamer
checklist.
moments. Wait, what's on your checklist?
My mental checklist is just getting us a Twitch channel, but I have to. We have to have a name for it, I suppose, first. So.
Yeah, we need to pull the trigger on that stuff.
I don't know what you mean. Having a nameless idea / group thing.
I mean, that works out too, but eventually we're going to need to make other people see this. Granted, most of them are probably going to start off being people we already know who are going to be just sick of it.
Maybe.
That works for me.
I'm fine with it. I would listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, most of my weekend, other than doing this, is going to be doing more paintings. Now that I'm done doing 8-inch by 8-inch paintings, I need to do 10-inch by 10-inch paintings. So, just adding a border all the way around it of an extra inch. So that's very exciting in the world of me. But the other things that I mentioned in my startup are things that happened over the course of this week for this week's podcast. Mm-hmm. The first one I think you're going to be jealous of, so I'll start with that. I was meeting up with somebody to get food on Monday after work, and they suggested going to List downtown, which I haven't been to yet. And I was looking through their menu, and we both ended up ordering the same thing, but they have a truffle gnocchi, and it was like big ass gnocchi. It was like knuckles of gnocchi,
like thick, with thickest. About 5 C's.
If you're a poor person like me, this gnocchi would have taken at least a minute to microwave to get it hot enough all the way through. It was thick. And like usually with gnocchi, you eat it with something that you can pick up a few of them at a time. Mm-hmm. You had to fork a single gnocchi to make it work properly.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some thick gnocchi.
Yeah, real thick. And the truffle flavor was well done. It wasn't like just abrasive for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I would like to go do that again. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn jealous of that.
We'll see what situations you end up in the area. There's a list of things that you'll have to do, but I imagine something that gives you fat gnocchi is probably high up on the list.
Yeah, I mean, that's the top, to be honest. That's the top of just my life list in general, is just attain gnocchi.
Also, perfect thing for somebody who's going through a lot of dental work.
Yeah.
There's nothing about that kind of Italian food that you couldn't eat with no teeth, honestly. Yeah. So that was really good. So I'm getting the feeling that Seattle's Christmas decoration game is trying to counteract the fact that everybody is incredibly stressed out about the political situation.
Uh-huh.
So they're going like nuts this year. Like there aren't trees in downtown that don't have lights like completely covering them anymore. And a lot more places are doing like holiday shit, which I enjoy. Like, as agnostic as I am, I still love having like decorations and stuff like that.
Christmas cheer on every block.
Holiday gumption. uh, and they also that Westlake Center, which is like I would say a bad mall. Envision in
Yeah.
your head a bad mall, and you pretty much know what Westlake Center is. But they do have a Lush, so that's good, and a Daiso. Um, and that place got remodeled, and it is now incredibly weird inside. So I'm into that.
Weird how? Just like weird to
You
walk into,
you've been in there,
unwelcoming.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has it has 3 floors. The first floor is kind of a regular mall. The second floor is like a Daiso and a candy place, and like that's kind of it. Like they do technically have like places with clothing, but I've never seen anyone go into those.
Mm.
And then the top floor has like an entrance to get on the Seattle monorail, which is a weird joke that we play in Seattle. And then now they have like some food places that are all like California originated. That's like Cali Burger and some other shit. But
Hmm.
it used to just be a pretty standard 3 small floors with garbage on them. Now there is a stairwell with shops that you can access all the way on the side. And there's always been a weird, like, I think it's like a Taco Del Mar or something, and like a bank on the side of that shopping center. But now there's like some extra places to eat, and you can walk all the way up the floors via the side entrance. And
Hmm.
it's creating this weird flow of that mall where it feels like everybody is running from the police almost. Like it's like a tiny labyrinth where anything you're doing you could like duck into a dark corner, which is not the way I thought malls were designed. Like it's usually like a everybody stay as much in the center of a lit room as possible, and they're, you know, thinking outside the box for Westlake.
Yeah. We want to feel like you might be on the run. So
Yeah.
here's a dark corner for you.
It gives you a little bit of excitement. And there's that bank that's like in a weird corner that you can pretend you're robbing as you run out of it or something. It all works out.
Inject some excitement into your life.
And just in case non-Seattle people don't have any idea what I'm talking about, this mall is the center of the city. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's where they have the giant Christmas tree, and it's where they have the like giant North Star up on a building. Like it's if you go downtown, that's what you're gonna see, and it's just trash. And it's been fixed up, and it's still just trash.
But there's potential for some dark daydreams to happen now,
Oh yeah,
apparently. So,
definitely.
I mean, that's a step up. That's something.
So with that garbage out of the way, were you interested in telling me about the Christmas Prince movies?
Oh, I'm always interested in telling
Oh yeah.
anybody. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, God, I have a lot of notes on. So I watched.
That's
Yeah.
bad saying. Sorry, go ahead.
Mine kind of tastes like um a orange flavored cough medicine.
Hmm.
So that's great.
I have a big screen on the other side of the room that's showing me like a school of fish.
Mm.
And this tastes like if I just dipped my head in and drank some of that water. But
Nice.
with grape wine, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I wish the ocean tasted like grape wine.
Well, it will
No,
soon.
don't.
Don't worry, we're getting there. It'll all be jellyfish and grape wine
Oh.
and
And trash.
yeah.
My favorite things. Okay, well, I guess I could start talking about like the second one. So the second so there to recap, in the Christmas Prince universe, there are 3 movies. There's the first one where the journalist travels and like by the end of the movie she becomes a princess because she falls in love with the prince and yeah, pretty.
This journalist, of course, that you told me this, the star of iZombie.
Yes. So I'm like pro. I'm open and accepting to everything that this franchise has to offer because I like her a lot.
Like, so, I want her to win.
Yeah, obviously. So there are 3 movies. She in the first one, at the end, they get married. The second one is, or no, they don't get married because the second one is their wedding.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So second one is their wedding. The story takes place in a fictional country of Aldovia, which I don't really know why they decided to make literally the whole country's like culture and ideology and identity revolve around Christmas and not just like the things that are happening in the characters' lives. But Christmas
also
is
on a map, it looks like it's vaguely in a Turkey kind of place.
Did you pause it on the map too to try and figure out where the fuck they were supposed to be?
No, I was like, oh, that's not anything.
No, I paused it and for a whole like 5 minutes was trying to read the. I mean, it's just like Latin gibberish that some graphic designer put together, but I was just like, where the fuck is this country supposed to be?
Did you discover anything?
No, it's all made up. There's nothing.
Do you know what Marvel universe it's in?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have no idea, but yeah, there's not even like, it's just Latin gibberish all over the map, and there's no discernible other real countries or landmarks. So it's just floating out there somewhere. Aldovia, the land of Christmas forever. So my first note for the second movie is that the prince's middle name is Bevan.
Oh yeah,
I found really good. Mostly because my boyfriend's name is Evan, and I like the idea of just adding a B to it and being like, yeah, that's a name.
You should. There's no reason not to. Yeah. You have special privileges.
I do. So I think from here on out, the third official member of the podcast will be referred to as Bevan.
Bevan? Bevan?
It's pretty good. Like, I've never heard that. That's not a real name, is it?
It's very whaleable. Like, you can really throw that out there.
You really can.
Like Evan, you kind of have to start a little bit quieter, but
Bevan.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's a very whaleable, screamable name. And it's frustrating, so you would probably be screaming it anyway. My second note was, so the second movie, I guess we see him briefly in the first movie, but the second movie kind of further introduces us to her dad.
Yeah, Rudy. Which I assume I assume that is a Rudolph reference for the Christmas shit.
Oh shit, I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, there's another horrible Christmas reference at the very end of the series, but...
Ugh. Gross. Well, okay, you'll have to tell me about that.
Oh, I will.
When we get there. But Rudy is like, what I wrote down is aggressively salt of the earth man.
Yeah, he's like what people from the Midwest think they will turn into if they go to New York.
Yes.
He's Rudy got that,
the reason my grandfather refuses to go to New York.
Honestly, as somebody who has family from around there and has been to New York a couple times, they're not totally wrong, but also, like, it's pretty exaggerated, especially for, like, modern movies.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty bad. I think they mostly just did that to be like, he's he's just a regular guy. He's not like these royal people.
Well, it's a
He's
lot of like, this guy's never had an anxiety disorder or anything like that. Like, he
oh
shows
clearly
up and he's
not.
just like, hey, how's it going, Prince?
I'm just gonna co-opt your kitchen and it's mine now.
Yeah.
Um, which was fun. I
Oh,
there's like a
that
there's like
head cook doesn't show up again in the third one. I just realized that.
oh yeah. I love how they kind of like half-heartedly make a romance possibility crop
Yeah.
up there, but then like, no, fuck you, Russian kitchen lady, you're done. You don't
Yeah,
get
get
any
out of here.
screen time. Um, so that kind of bothered me about her dad. Then they also introduced this wedding planner character that is
Mm-hmm.
fucking the best, worst thing in the
uh,
whole entire universe.
they run into that wedding planner because he steals their taxi.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't even. Oh, that's exactly. Wait, am I thinking of the other great princess Christmas movie that we watched, does that happen? No, that happens in A Christmas Prince one, like
Yeah.
with the prince. Okay, so they're just doing that again.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, fun.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh, fun.
I didn't even actually realize that. She so a lot of the second movie is just like her planning her wedding, and actually she's not planning any of it because everybody around her is basically just kind of telling her this
Uh-huh.
is your wedding, um, which sucks for her, um, and uh, that's kind of like the main conflict, I guess, in the second one is that they're all, you're a royal now, you have to do royal things and portray uh, royalness. And she's like, no, I just want to be myself. And they're like, fuck you, no. So,
Get bent. This is a castle.
fuck your blog, lady. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I the second one has a lot of blog stuff in it.
Yeah, which feels very like
It's
tacked
forced.
on.
Like
Yeah,
that would be like a thing in a TV series, but not in a movie.
yeah. And I love that every time we have a scene where she's writing, she's like tippy tapping on her keyboard.
Uh-huh.
All of the blog posts are titled "Hello World," which is really good.
Yeah, like she's either very popular or very delusional, and it's not clear in that world which.
Yeah, not at all. It's so confusing because they start the movie with kind of a montage of like how famous she is because of her blog. She's on a bunch of tabloids and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Which just like, why? Why is she so like? Why does anybody give any fucks about this small country's like princess? She's not even technically a princess because she's not married yet. So
Yeah,
like,
completely unknown. Like what is it? Markle that's like a American? Is that
yeah, Meghan Markle.
Do you know anything about her? Cuz I kind of assumed they were taking ideas from that, but all I know is that she was famous-ish.
Yeah, I don't really know much about her other than I think she was an actress or something.
Okay. I thought maybe she was on like reality television or something. In any case, the royal family can kiss my ass. But
The royal
uh
moms,
yeah, yeah.
as we decided queens shall be referred to as royal moms, which is, correct.
Yeah.
Um, so, what else did I write down? Um, oh, the other central conflict of the second movie is that uh, her husband, or not husband, they're not married yet. It's the prince has started his like, what does he call it? I wrote down the name because it's ridiculously long and stupid. Uh, Bring Aldovia into the 21st Century Initiative. That's the full name.
Ah.
And because of this initiative, people are like losing their jobs, and they don't find out till the end that somebody's like funneling money out of it or something.
Yeah, like there's a trusted castle person who leaves when he takes over, and then they like invite him back and he's like embezzling or something.
Yeah.
I don't
And
eat. I noticed by the end of the third one that these are all like weird Scooby-Doo movies, but they just don't say that.
oh yeah, they totally are. Um yeah, they totally are. Although like what is so annoying about the second one and the third one is that like the bad guy is not even a main character. It's
Yeah.
like a tangential character that doesn't really matter, so you're not really, I don't know. They make it seem like it's going to be Simon, and like that would be
Don't they
cooler.
do that in both movies?
Yes, they're just the whole time they're like fuck you Simon, which is really funny because I mean, in the second one their whole problem is like economics, and he has a degree in economics from
Uh-huh.
Oxford. And they're just like, fuck off, dude. We don't want your help. Because
Uh,
you actually could be, and they're mad because he presented himself to be king when they found out that the other guy couldn't be king, like legally.
mhm.
So, like, what? I don't get all the Simon hate.
Yeah, Simon is basically hated because he's a sort of normal person and he lives there.
Yeah.
Like in the second one, he puts himself up to be a potential king, and in the third one, he is mistaken for like flirting with people, and that's like
Yeah.
his evil doing.
Poor Simon. We need a Simon spin-off. Although his one-liners are real terrible.
Yeah. No, Simon is good for that world. He's
Yeah.
not necessarily good for anything else.
Yeah. He's a good like foil to the prince who has really no discernible personality whatsoever.
But his lips are more normal than
Yeah.
other princes we've seen, so I appreciate that. The
Uh
Princess Switch prince was just a golem, and I can't deal with that again.
honestly I don't even remember what he looked like. That's how
He's the one
great
who
that
looks
casting
like
was.
a cumberbunch with a weird like underbite.
Uh yeah.
The one
They
where
why
they
did
kiss and his bottom lip is like sticking into her mouth and his
ugh,
top lip like is inside his teeth.
gross.
It's what everybody
they,
wants.
yeah, I mean that's like my idea of Prince Charming.
Yeah, it's like an extra tongue.
Oh my god, that's gross. I don't know why these people can't cast just like a decently good looking dude to be your Prince Charming. Like, why do you cast the most fucking forgettable, emotionless, bad actors?
You know,
Like this prince can't even move his face. He's like expressionless
if
the whole
they
entire series.
if he wasn't non-white, that best friend from the Princess Switch would have been a fantastic prince because he was boring but not too boring.
Yeah,
And then they could have had the prince like I don't know cleaning a horse stall with his shirt off, and it would have worked out great because that
yeah.
guy had like 8 sets of abs.
Yeah, like that's the kind of person you need to cast as your prince. Just not I don't know. I think they went with the guy that they went with on A Christmas Prince because he's supposed to have like a regal air or something, but he just doesn't fucking act. Like they show it at the end bloopers. There's like a small 2-minute blooper reel, and he as soon as he stops acting, he like moves his face, and you're just like, what? You can do that, but
Not
yeah,
on screen.
no,
That's
not
not
at all.
for us. That's what people like in movies is to feel like things are being held from them from the actors.
Yeah, I like feeling like the actor isn't trying too hard at
Yeah.
his job. My other gripe with the second one was that and this is actually something in that video that I sent you, that YouTuber Jenny Nicholson did kind of a overview of A Christmas Prince, and she goes into a lot of depth on a lot of different things. But one of her critiques of the movie was that like the hair and makeup is so fucking bad, and the
Yeah,
hair especially pisses me off.
the makeup pisses me off because they all look like they're suffering from a disease.
Yeah, it's you would think that if they have enough money or they're getting enough budget from Netflix to make like 3 of these things, that you would have a decent hairstylist or makeup artist, but
Yeah.
most can't do.
I mean, in essence, these movies, there's 3 of them, and they feel like they might as well be episodes of a series uh, like Game of Thrones, but like a tiny bit longer. Like, they're not long movies, they're like 90-minute runtime.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many scenes where you can see what's her face? Amber. I don't know why, but they just never fucking curl. Like she's always got curled hair, like really
Yeah.
poorly curled hair, but they never fucking curl like this little part, like her bangs at the time. I'm so glad I'm showing you this on our podcast. But it bothers me that like all the hairs that frame her face, they never curl and they don't deal with them. They just look fried and bad.
I mean,
So
I guess it's a little bit more realistic, but like not if she's somebody who in real life would pay attention to stuff.
yeah, not if she's well, like initially she's not or she's a journalist at kind of a tabloidy kind of place, so she's like a professional person, and now she's royalty and her hair still isn't curled correctly, but whatever. Fine.
Also, I just have a big gripe with in the second one, she gets in trouble. There's a princess who's the younger sister of the prince who has like crutches in the third one and has a wheelchair in the third one, I think. And there's a picture on her blog of her with some frosting on her nose having like a normal time. Like if you saw this picture from either of us on something we have, you would be like, that looks posed. That looks dumb. Why'd you put that up? But instead, they're like, this is way too aggressively normal. And that's what she gets in trouble for in the second movie. Like,
yeah, they take her blog down, which I don't actually understand how that happens. Like,
well, that's
why
just
do they...
full censorship.
Right. They're just like, no, the fuck you, you're done. I hope you had a nice time being a journalist, but that's done now. Now you're just a boring lady who lives here. And
you fuck my son and you stay off the internet.
Yeah, that's kind of it. But that's one of the biggest things that annoyed me about the second one is that all these like royalty people, like her, like the prince, and or maybe he's the king in the second. I guess he's the king in the second one. But so the king and the queen, who is his mom, don't do anything about like all this stuff that's very easily fixable. Like there's one scene where they're taking the royal portrait and she wants to wear her locket that has her dead mother's picture in it, and they're like, no,
fuck you.
Fuck you. And he's standing right there and just expressionless. And the evil lady, she's not really evil. She's like the head. I don't even know what she is. Like the house. I want to say housekeeper, but that's not right. Like she's
like I don't know,
their person.
The castle marm. I'm not really sure what to call her.
She's like, I don't know, someone who handles their like day-to-day shit, and she's the person who's like putting Amber through all this and is like, no, take off your locket. And Amber's like, no, I want to wear it, it's special. And they're like, no, fuck you. And the king doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's just like, that sucks for you, I'm sorry.
Most of the time, especially in the second movie, when anything happens, his response is like, oh, I guess just do it, idiot.
Yeah. Like, even in the scene where she finds out that post has been taken off her blog, and she goes to, like, weird headmaster, that's not right, the lady who told her to take off the necklace, and they have, like, a little meeting, and the lady's basically like, we're shutting down your blog, and Amber's like, aren't you going to do anything about this? And he's like, no.
I'm just the king. I don't know.
I'm just the king with literally all the power in the land, but no, I can't fix this small problem.
What do you expect me to do about it?
Yeah. So that's a fun thing, and that's basically Amber's struggle. The whole movie is her whole problem is basically just that everybody around her sucks and totally doesn't have her back at all.
Yeah.
And has no feelings or interest in her, like, feeling good about her own wedding or her life in general.
And what does her best friend and her gay GBF?
I have something to say.
What do they
about
do in the
too.
second movie? I can't remember.
What do they do? They come there, and then there's, like, a cut to a bachelorette party, which is just them painting his toenails.
Right.
Because he's gay, so he paints his toenails. Duh.
Yeah,
Obviously.
no straight person would paint their nails. That's crazy.
Idiots. I don't honestly remember anything else that they do. They're such, like, I know that they do something, but their characters are very not interesting, and they show it more in the third movie.
Yeah.
Which so the thing I was gonna say about I don't remember. I think his name is Eddie, the gay guy. But at the end of the second movie, he and the wedding planner, whose name is Sahil, like,
I think so.
Have a conversation, and then at the beginning of the third movie, they've gone into business together, and they're, like, event planners. And one thing you do notice, I'm curious if you picked up on this too. It seems like they made him way less, like, flamboyant in the third one, and I think it's because he's, like, in business with this guy, and they're like, well, that's gay, so we can't have him be extra gay on top of the gay. It's too gay.
Well, and they're supposed to be a couple in the third one, aren't they?
That's what I thought. Like,
It
I
seems
think
like
they're
they got
sharing a room.
together. Yeah.
But
And
they make him tone down. Like, before he was extremely flamboyant, but not in the third one.
Yeah, there's a lot of lackluster kisses in the third one, and theirs isn't one of them. So it is hard to tell what's happening.
Yeah. Because I wrote down one of his lines from the second one that was outrageously, like, flamboyant. He's on the phone with Amber, or they're, like, Skyping, and they're on their way to the airport to come visit her. And she's like, you guys better get here soon. I'm losing my mind. I'm in such trouble. And he goes, counting down the seconds, trust. And he doesn't say anything like that remotely, like, completely different personality in the third one. And I think they just wanted to tone it down.
He plays the, like, less flamboyant character than Sahil, I think.
Sahil is outrageous. Outrageous.
Yeah. In the third one, they, like, make him the, like, straight guy of those two, which is odd because it really doesn't match with the first and second movie at all.
Yeah, not at all. But, like, getting that representation in, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
So that bothered me.
You have to have her best friend's also black, so, like,
yeah,
if you're gonna be in very, very white Aldovia, I guess you gotta have some representation.
I like how it kind of reminded me. There's one shot where the prince is giving I think it's at the end of the movie, actually, and they're, like, I don't know what they're doing, but it pans over a crowd, and it's just like white people forever, and then one black guy up front,
Uh-huh.
one single black guy, and it reminds me a lot of like a Trump rally. You
Oh
see
yeah,
it?
when they just put like one person in the front.
Yeah, they found like the one black guy that goes to the Trump rally, and they're like, "Here, you get a front row seat to where
In
they go."
the third movie, they have an establishing shot when they go to New York, when they're talking to Rudy on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, for whatever reason, extremely noticeable. So Rudy has a diner,
It's
and
called Ruby's Diner,
uh-huh.
by the way.
In the second movie, he's trying to convince the castle cook to let him do part of the menu.
Mm.
Uh, that's a throwaway storyline, but like just so people know kind of who Rudy is, I guess. Uh, and the third one, he's barely in it, but they have an establishing shot where he is sitting in one of the booths, talking to them about like the pregnancy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the establishing shot for it is the outside of Rudy's diner, and everybody in that shot is white. Everybody in the diner is white, but there is one black guy standing in front of the door, not like walking away from the diner, but
He's just there.
standing in front of the diner door, and he's looking back and forth, and he looks super agitated, and it like draws a lot of attention, and that's nothing. Like it's just
Yeah.
a black person in the movie, and I guess that's what he was there for, but it's super distracting. Like also
Well,
going to New York and having it all be white people seems crazy.
yeah, it seems it's funny that they do that to be like it's New York, so there's like stuff happening outside. It's crazy, chaotic, but everyone on the inside of this diner is white, and that's
Mhm.
true to life. But whatever. I want more Rudy in the movies.
I think Rudy would have been a good thing to put into the third one.
Yeah, he's in the third one for like 2 minutes,
Yeah, he
just
shows up
at
at
the
the
very
end.
end. Oh, also, this is kind of skipping a lot of stuff, but I guess spoiler alert, she has a baby. In the third one, a
Oh,
royal baby. She has a baby, and they name it Ellery, which is not a name. I'm pretty sure, and also it's like her mom's name, but they do not mention that up until that moment. And I don't know that like I that felt weird to me the way they did that, but
yeah.
never
I don't
heard the name, and it's spelled kind of weird. But I remember because I always watch everything with subtitles on. I was like, I was watching it in the bathtub, and I look over
Oh,
and
really?
there's yes, and there's the word Ellery on the screen, and I'm like, oh, that's just a subtitle fuck up. But then they say it and put it on a certificate in the movie just so you know how it's spelled.
Yeah, they have the every character except the one who is secretly the bad guy uh, is doing something that makes it seem like they could be doing the hiding of the artifact in the third movie.
Yeah.
Uh, and the guy with the beard who's like slightly less like tall and like friendly is definitely like towards the beginning. There's like some weird camera shots that imply that he's doing something sinister. And that guy is the one who unveils just a big like it's not a sandwich board, it's like on a tripod, but it's just a big certificate that's framed that says like Ellery on it.
Yep. It's yeah. I've never seen that happen in like a baby announcement before, but I guess when you're king and queen of a small fictitious country, that's
Sure.
what you do. Yeah.
um they also, I feel like the third movie is where we're at now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
uh the third movie introduces a fake Asian country Uh,
Yeah, that was so funny.
that's like, what is
Called
it called?
Panglia.
Yeah, Panglia. Uh, and they definitely try to make you think everybody from Panglia is evil at some point in the movie, even though they're
Yeah, they
not.
do. No, the like uh there's the king of Panglia whose name is Ty,
Uh-huh.
and he just kind of comes off sort of like an idiot who's there for a good time.
Yeah, and then they have like everybody who comes with him, the two people who come with him,
Yeah.
both say weird shit at some point in the movie that makes it sound like, oh, he might be a bad person, maybe, but that never comes to anything. Like, he's totally fine.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They do a lot of like hinting to pretty much everybody at some point that like, oh, they're the bad person. But then it ends up being someone who just is barely in the movie at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it ends up being the old man at the theme park, even though you met all these other characters.
Yeah, it's like the background character who talked about his childhood to a 10-year-old girl for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's your only hint. But okay.
Well, you should have known he was a bad guy. He pretended to see a ghost once.
Yeah. Oh, that was sinister. Very,
Uh-huh.
very clever. I just, it took a lot for me to kind of like dispel the annoyance of just having all of these people's life events revolve around Christmas. That makes me so
Uh-huh.
mad. They do, like his coronation is on Christmas. Their wedding is on Christmas.
The baby was
The
born on
baby is born
Christmas.
on Christmas. So they're just gonna like not celebrate anything all year, and on Christmas it's like anniversary, birthday,
They even
coronation.
have that shit when the baby's born, the prince says like well, he says Merry Christmas and she says Happy Anniversary back. And it's
I
like,
know.
oh
Like,
right, everything is on this day. Like, that's gonna suck later.
yeah, that's like too much. That's like, and also I feel bad for the daughter because having your birthday on Christmas fucking sucks. Like
Yeah, that's
everybody that I know that has that situation hates it.
the pressman at work. His birthday's on Christmas. And I've had to listen to like 30 days of Christmas music already, and it fucking sucks.
But every time you're like, please can we listen to something else, he can just say, it's my birthday. And you can't argue with that.
It's true.
It must feel like you have a whole season dedicated to your birthday if you're born on Christmas.
It seems like it.
Also, oh, the third one other thing in the third one is they so I think the hair budget got bigger because the hair looks probably the best it's looked.
Also, the main character's Amber, her hair doesn't look terrible in the third movie.
Yeah, she gets a haircut in the third movie, which I am always up for a main character getting a haircut. That's very exciting. But
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I get really excited about that. But they also make there's a lot of like comically gigantic props in the third movie. Like in the beginning, there's a montage of Amber and the prince doing like king and queen activities. And one of the activities is a ribbon cutting, and she's got scissors that are like this fucking big.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess makes sense for ribbon cutting, but they're like even too big for like ribbon cutting scissors. I know they're supposed to be big, but they're like like I'm glad this is a podcast so you can see me acting out the scissors, but they're huge.
Yeah, doing semaphore scissors.
Yeah.
Usually scissors are like your forearm for that. Like, they're too big, but they're big so you can see them. But those were like novelty, like Spencer's gift scissors.
Yeah, ridiculous. And then the other one I wrote down was the fucking crib building instructions. That's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
dictionary's were not even one. It's like a good 3 or 4 inches thick of a fucking like book that
Yeah, it
you're
looks like
supposed to believe.
they put a new cover on like A Tale of Two Cities or something.
Yeah, it's very obvious when they do like a 2 second close up that it's like 4 pages of instructions taped into a book.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty good. Um, so, but there's a whole scene dedicated to these two kings, who, oh, we both rule countries and we're so good at that, but we can't even build this crib. And by the way, this is a metaphor for fatherhood is hard.
Uh-huh.
But we want to make sure you really, really get that.
Also, I have a gripe with the king from Panglia telling him that when there's a crisis and what was it, like a kid's scraped knee is still the most important thing. That's when you know you're a father.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was
you're a
good.
bad king, I guess, because that should not be an issue.
Yeah, not only are you letting your kids scrape their knees, but also them going to war might be a bigger deal than. Oh, that's another fun thing. Is that the third one? The third one revolves around um, uh, a re-signing. They're like renewing a treaty, um, because their countries were at war like 100 years ago. So that's why the Panglia people are there to like re-sign it again, because it's a tradition every Christmas or 100 years or some fuck shit. They have to they have to re-sign this, or else they will go to war at midnight on Christmas. And there's nothing we can do to stop this. It's
And
beyond our control.
if it doesn't get signed, there's a curse on the baby. So
Yeah,
you just
I love I love that. The scene where the queen is looking at. I love that they have. So there's a scene right at. It's like after the treaty goes missing. So the treaty gets stolen right before they're supposed to do the renewing of it. And right after that, the queen is in her library with another comically large book that just conveniently like explains the history of every treaty that they have or something. And it explains like the rules of the treaty. So one of them is that they'll go back to war if they don't get it signed, and then the other one is the curse. And Emily, the princess, comes in and she reads the part about the curse, and the queen is like, "No, we don't do stuff like that anymore. That's like 100 years ago. We don't believe in curses." But you're still gonna go to war at
yeah.
midnight, and that part's valid, but the curse isn't real because magic's not real.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
not like you couldn't just wait till you find it or say you signed it and anybody would ever know. You could just be like, "Yeah, we made a new one. It sucks that that cool art piece from 500 years ago is lost, but hey."
But at least we're not at war, because that seems like the thing that probably your countries would care the most about.
But it's not like they were making copies of it or anything. Like it
No.
was just a thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
um, it's a fun little storyline. These people seem very like helpless to and this is kind of a stupid critique to have about Christmas royalty family movie
Yeah.
rom-com thing, but all of the characters seem like annoyingly helpless to their own situations and don't feel like they can do anything, even though they're all literal kings and queens.
And then one more thing, I guess no point in spoiler warnings really. The fucking like guy who I don't think he was in the last movie, Little, uh he's not in 2, is he?
Little, I don't remember this character.
Mr. Devon, the bad guy?
Oh, I don't think he's in this
Yeah,
set. Maybe he is. I don't
he
know.
might
See,
be.
that's how
Anyway,
unforgettable he is.
he has no real point in the movie except that he exists so that nobody else is the
Bad.
person who caused the bad thing. But the thing that he did is like, who gives a shit? Like, if somebody did that in real life, when you found out, you'd be like, look, you can't do that. That's important for our countries. And that would probably be about it. But in the credits, they show him in an orange jumpsuit, like he's in American prison.
But it says on the jumpsuit, Aldovian Central Prison. So you know that it's
also, notably, he didn't do anything other than hide a document in the castle. Like, he wasn't in possession of it. He did take it, which I guess is the thing that he did, but he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't endanger anybody, really. These idiot people who run these countries were like, well, we'll have to go to war, I guess. But like, the only thing that happened was the two kings are too stupid to do anything else. It's a very, like, it's like the movie was designed for people in their like 40s to watch, but the storyline was written by somebody who usually writes for children, and they just mashed it together. But I thought it was a little bit ridiculous that he was in prison, especially. So do you remember the end of the second movie? The guy who was actually causing problems and like embezzling
like actually
money.
Doing criminal things.
Yeah, and like stopping the country from having, it seemed like healthcare and like social security and stuff, like they weren't able to pay for like their workers and things like that, which is a much more significant issue. And that guy was put in the castle dungeon at the end. But this other guy's just in real ass prison. So I don't.
That's where we put the real.
Their law system is weird.
There is no, like, I don't know. They don't even kind of allude to having a law system. They're just like, hey, we got a dungeon and we got a prison, and that's about it. Because they're in the third movie, they make a point to when the Queen and Emily get trapped in the dungeon, there's like, Leopold was here carved into the wall. And he's gone. So like, what, did he die? Is he dead now?
He's gotta be dead.
And that's what the ghost is. It's Leopold. He's dead in the fucking dungeon.
So one thing, so that the horny kid, the one that's hanging out with the girl whose legs don't work.
Yeah.
His name is Richard, right? Like they talk about him when they're like ice skating and stuff, and like these two like 15-year-olds are making out, and they're like, "Oh, cool, we should make out too." Like that scene.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what scene.
Isn't the prince's name also Richard?
I think the boy's name is Tom. I think his name is Tom Quill, because Emily says that.
Quill.
Yeah, okay. She says his full name at some point for some reason, and it's stuck in my brain. So yeah, I think his name is Tom Quill.
Who the fuck is he, and why is he hanging out in the castle trying to mac on their sister at all times?
Yeah, that's kind of
like they are like middle teenagers. Like she's not like about to leave high school or anything.
Yeah, they're like 13, 14.
Yeah, and there's the scene like towards the beginning of the third one where they're talking and she's like, there's mistletoe all over this castle. She's like, that was the fuck?
Oh my god. Yeah, the honestly, I'm rooting more for their romance than the actual king and queen's romance. It's more interesting.
It seems more like
that they like each other.
Yeah. I don't know. All of these Christmas movies are making me hate princes. I also watched some bad anime, and one of them is a incredibly poor take on Sleeping Beauty, I think. Or Snow White, that's what it is. But instead, she has like red hair, and the prince is like trying to essentially steal her to make her a like sex slave. Look, anime is weird.
It's a good twist.
That, like, yeah, exactly. That's how the show starts. And then instead of like having any sort of like real life agency, she just runs into another prince who's a little bit higher on the rung than that prince, and he's like, "Well, you belong to me now."
But he's good, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He has friends, so he's good.
Ooh,
Because that's how life works.
the
Uh,
total package.
yeah, he's a prince and he's got two friends. Uh, that show is terrible, but also like more milk toast and awful princes, and then these are more social princes. But I mentioned this to you, I think. Uh, I watched like a third of a show, like a third of a season of a show called Brothers Conflict. Did I tell you about that?
Maybe.
That show is on Hulu and it's buck wild and it's the most Japanese thing I've ever seen. And it's one girl whose dad is marrying like I think just a very rich woman, and she has 13 sons, and all except for like two of those sons are trying to bang the daughter after she gets brought into the family and has to live in the same house. Also, they live in like an apartment building, which is confusing.
Cool.
Also, most of them are like 17, but some of them are like 30-ish, and they're also trying to bang her. It is a problem, and we need to like write some letters to Japan and ask them about this shit.
Please stop.
Hey, we've all seen, I guess that could transition. We've all seen the Pornhub analytics. We don't need more brother sister shit. It's
oh my god.
Enough is enough.
I'm gonna pull those up again for reference. Yeah, okay, so that's another fun topic.
Oh, sorry. I should have said, welcome to this week's podcast, After Dark.
Yeah, we need an NSFW tag on here. I think the the thing that was probably the most interesting about that is like the rankings of categories. And you noticed this first. Oh, here I have it first. So the number one is amateur. All right, sure. Fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, no. I'm having a lot of sex, but I'm simultaneously a virgin. Wow, it's amazing.
Whoa.
Second most searched category is alien. And yeah. I never would have guessed.
Like, the only thing that comes to mind when I think of that is that fucking horrifying ET porn, which if you haven't seen, I suggest you and everybody listening to this, Steve, that one guy who listens to this, go look up ET on, whatever porn thing. It is horrifying. It is a woman in a full ET costume.
No.
And it is the scariest thing ever. And that, to me, is what an alien is in porn. And I don't know what else people are looking at, but I don't know how you could be enjoying it.
Is it actual ET? Like the costume is actual ET, yes. Like from the ET franchise? That's terrible.
It sucks. It is the worst.
Who the fuck watched E.T. befriend like a 10-year-old child and eat Reese's Pieces and was like, you know what? This needs more fucking.
Damn it. This weird potato eating Reese's Pieces is making me rock hard. I gotta find this.
Oh my god.
I
hate that so much.
See if I can find safe image that oh boy, that sucks. That's not safe. This all is the worst.
So did you just Google ET porn.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna find one that can be on YouTube, and that's the one, I guess. And I'm
Okay.
gonna apologize to you, but yo, check. Whoop, not
Ah!
that one. That one's bad too. Oh, that's the bad one.
No! No! No!
Yeah.
It
Uh-huh.
looks like it looks like someone just made who was trying to anthropomorphize a turd.
Yeah.
That's what
I mean,
that
that's
looks.
kind of what ET looks like, but you don't think ET, I wonder what that thing's junk looks like.
Please tell me they make an extra special effort to write in the whole finger lighting up thing.
I'm not
Incorporating that
sure.
into.
I've seen like mostly like animated GIFs of it. I can't bring myself to hear what's happening in that because that
Uh,
scene is clearly rubber.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, if you type in ET space porn, burn your computer because I'm gonna have to throw this phone in the garbage.
it's tainted.
Yeah.
It cursed.
There, I will say, they do mouth stuff with that costume, and it is
What?
it sucks. It's the worst.
Okay. Talk about
Anyway,
having no lips. That's
so what I want you to know is that Pornhub, which granted is one, but one very popular website, says that's what, number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that
Number
sucks.
2. Number 4 is Belle Delphine, which I was like, yeah, okay.
She
Not
did
super
have
surprised.
she did have like parody videos, so I guess like that could have
Those
a
are
more universal
fucking
audience.
creepy. I actually did some research and I googled her, or by Google I there's no verb for Pornhub. I Pornhubbed her.
Yeah, Pornhub her.
Yeah. Um and those are fucking creepy because to my knowledge, I don't think she has. She might have videos, but I think she has like a private Snapchat slash Patreon kind of deal going on. But I don't think there's any actual videos of her. But they're like the weird. What do you even call that? Like putting her face onto a body. I think it's
Oh,
called deep fake or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
deepfake stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is terrifying to watch.
the So she does parody videos. I've found a thing that I thought was pretty funny where it's just, and I don't think it was on a porn site even. It was just like a video that's like, uh, I play with 2 cocks or something. And
Mm.
it was just her hanging out with 2 chickens and like throwing feed at them or something. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
I can get behind that. Like, that's a stupid idea I would have and try to
Mhm.
do. Uh, for a while, I was going to enter the Hump Festival and do a 2-person production, but essentially a one-man show of a werewolf and myself, but
Okay.
only have chest up shots. So it was all in like the imagination. But that that fell through. We can't have everything we want. Um,
Clearly not.
yeah. But it
Because
felt like
Alien's
something
number
like that.
2, not number 1.
Exactly. And I could make an alien costume. That's no problem. Uh, and also that surge seemed like it was all a big thing with that like Area 51 bullshit. But I don't know
Oh.
why you go, hey, people are making this like meme joke about Area 51. I'm gonna look up porn of this. Like, is that how the human mind works? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, this thing that I'm thinking of in my everyday life will now transfer to the porn that I want to. Yeah, and I don't think I can think of another
It
good
also worries
example of
me
that.
because, like, does that mean that that's what people wanted to get into Area 51 to do? Was that the point?
That's gotta be it. They're like, that's where they're hiding all the sexy aliens.
I think they got like maybe exoskeletons or anti-gravity or something, but man, I really want to fuck one of those aliens. Hey, I bet they're amateurs.
Oh, the perfect crossover of all my interests. Amateur aliens.
Wait, so
Dressed up as
Aliens
Belle Delphine.
Aliens was number 2 and Belle Delphine was number 4, is that right?
Yeah. Number
So
3 is POV.
oh
So,
sure.
okay. Yeah.
Well, and that I bet VR has that tag on it, so I bet that got a
Yeah.
boost from people having horrible camera face strap mechanisms. And they're like, I want to see what my body looks like when it seems like it's both 2 feet tall and 1,000 feet tall. Have you ever looked at that?
No,
VR porn is terrible. Like it's the worst, but
I can imagine.
it does make it seem like you're a movie monster in that you can like look around and everything is wrong. Like the most interesting thing about VR porn is that they cannot figure out how to make you feel like you're in a space because it would cost too much. So like
Right.
basically all you're doing is getting a bad VR room experience with the worst sounds ever for like the soundtrack.
Hell
And
yeah.
that's it.
Oh god.
So
Yeah.
what's number 5?
I mean, the rest of the list is relatively not as exciting as the first two things.
Did they
Um,
hit incest again? Because I feel like that was a huge thing.
it's not on the list, which
Okay.
makes me a little suspicious because I'm pretty sure that that's a thing. I
I
think they
bet
just don't want to put it on the list.
either they don't want to surface that or like other websites are like catering to that or something because
Yeah.
that it's impossible to like type in the word brother or anything into the internet without getting like, you want to fuck that?
Yeah. um, but it's not weird because it's like your stepbrother, so
Yeah,
it's
it's not
fine.
weird at all.
It's
Yeah.
it's not weird.
It's a real brothers conflict that we're having here. Don't worry about it.
Oh god. Okay, so the rest of the list is 5 is cosplay. So yeah.
Sure.
Um, 6 is mature. Okay. 7 is bisexual. All right. 8 is Apex Legends.
Oh boy.
Pretty good. I don't actually know anything about Apex Legends, but
I can't think of a
I
single
like that it's on
person.
the list.
I don't think there's anybody in that game that is like, damn, I want to get that.
I need to here. I'm gonna look it up because I don't. I know nothing about it. I'm like picturing Fortnite, but I'm pretty sure that's not
It's
accurate.
it looks like a cross between Fortnite and Call of Duty, kind of like it's in the middle somewhere.
Okay. Everyone in these pictures is like so suited up. How could you possibly find them sexual? They
Uh,
look like mech robots or something.
yeah, it kind of falls in line with that theory that I have that people just kind of want to fuck whatever is closest to them, and a lot of people play video games.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think that your theory is correct. But there is here. I'm gonna send this to you.
Oh,
One
good. Whatever
character.
this is, I'm very excited.
Okay. There's one character who has what appears to be a like bulletproof vest, except it's a crop top
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's what you want on your bulletproof vest is for half of it to be gone. And it's not even a woman. It looks like it's a dude
Okay.
or just
Yeah.
like somebody. I don't know.
Send that over and I'll see if it's incredibly
Yeah,
hot or not.
yeah. I mean, I'm extremely turned on, so I don't. I imagine you
Oh.
are.
Oh yeah. That is definitely like also they have like diodes on their stomach.
Yeah. Um,
If I'm recalling the small amount of Apex Legends knowledge I have, um, that person has fake legs as well.
I mean, that could be a thing.
Like I think they have those leg amputation implants that like runners get. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure that's part of their character.
well, he's got some sweet abs, and that's what we care about here at Pornhub.
Yes. Oh shit, maybe we can post this our videos to Pornhub.
I mean, that's the next logical step, I
Yeah.
think. I think that's fine.
Let's see.
Um,
What tags can we have on Pornhub? Uh I have a sister, so we can put sister, we can put brother. You got a
yeah, I have a
brother, of
brother.
course.
Yeah.
We can put interracial. We can put we can put shit. What about drunk? We can put
Drunk,
uh in,
Asian, that could work.
informational. Um we can put uh bad hair. We can
Yeah.
put uh bad clothes.
Aliens.
Alien, definitely alien. We're gonna want that for the metrics. Coffee,
Amateur, that
amateur.
works too.
Yep. It's
Uh,
my first time. Every time. That's important. Uh, and I want to put incel on the tag list because I
oh
feel like
yeah.
that's really an underutilized porn tag.
Yeah. Oh, also the next category is ASMR. So we're gonna have to use that
Oh
tag too.
boy, yeah, we need that tag. Oh
Um,
shit. I kind of want to come back to this, but I got a short one. Give me a second. Top secret.
I hate that so much.
I'm gonna jump right in here with a quick pop secret. So I know this is an unconventional time for it, but I've been
I'm
drinking and it
kind of
seems like a good idea.
I'm kind of worried that you're like following up Pornhub rankings with here's a
Oh
secret about
shit.
my dad.
I could do that, actually. Maybe I'll change it up. Uh, I'll just cross out this thing that I wrote, use that next time, and put in porno. Okay, so
Oh god.
this week's pop secret is that when I was a kid, I found my dad's porn magazines, which I think happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
They threw them away after I found them, but the most notable one, and this is a very tangential pop secret. Uh, okay, there were two ones that burned into my memory because I was like 5 or 6. So like I got what was happening, but like only kind of. The
Yeah.
first one was an article, I want to say it was in like Hustler, and I used the term article pretty loosely, that was called Bench Pressed. And it was like a woman doing benches with like they might have been real weights, but the bar wasn't bending at all. So I'm gonna guess probably just fake weights for the porn
Yeah.
thing. And then just like guys standing around her doing stuff. Uh, but I like the term bench pressed. Uh,
That's
the
pretty good.
second one was incredibly funny to me even as a kid, and it was like I don't think it was called sub sandwich. It was called like stuffed or something stupid.
Oh god.
And it was a guy, and it was a close up of what looked like they bought a sandwich from Subway. And he just had his dick in it like it was the meat in a Subway sandwich. And one of the pictures, and I don't think I'm making any of this up. I know the picture exists. I believe one of the pictures was a woman with her face next to the sandwich giving a thumbs up. And that's just the best image of what porn is in my head of like, okay, so it's just like, what if you took camp and then went twice as far with it? Anyway, I don't know what the fuck my dad was doing when he was younger, but he kept a magazine that had that in it. So I gotta assume he's just really the best at porn. Anyway, That'll be my pop secret for this time. I'll save my pop secret for next time. But I just wanted to pop secret real quick.
That was a really good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that would be a really good like first exposure to porn things.
It definitely made it so I don't take it seriously. I don't know. I'm actually kind of interested. If we ever get guests, we should ask them what their first experience with porn was.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Mine is pretty uninteresting. I think it was just like YouTube because it was when that could still happen on YouTube.
Oh, back when YouTube was the Wild West?
Yeah.
Before it was like a weird pseudo right-wing garbage hole.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That would be a good segment to do with people. We need to make a list of people we want to get on this wild.
I've got a few. I think Natalie would be good for this. Natalie's good at oh shit. If we can figure it out, Natalie should come on and read us some slash fiction in the future. I'm gonna say that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
And Carrie has done podcasts in the past, so I think she has some good art to talk about. But hey, you know. Also, I'm feeling a little left out because I already finished this Capriccio.
I'm just trying to go a little slower so I can, talk. So I'm not like screaming into the microphone.
Well, you just don't want people to have fun.
Yeah. Most importantly, I'm anti-fun. But the rest of the list is there's only one more and it's femdom. So woohoo!
That was the number 10.
Femdom. Yeah, that's number 10.
I guess
most search terms
would appeal to lazy guys. That works.
It appeal to what?
Lazy guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would. Let's see. Most search terms of 20. I mean, the rest of this is pretty like run of the mill, not surprising. I think the alien is probably the highlight of the Pornhub stats.
I think that's sort of the like the big thing to focus on because like whatever people are looking up for porn, like I know people are fucking weirdos and whatever, but alien is such a non-sexy thing that it really stands out to me as like, how is that so high up the list? And don't get me wrong, I am super glad that incest is not in style right now. Like it for all I know, it could be number 11, but if it's not in the top 10, that makes me feel better about like human beings.
How things are going. It is kind of it's something to hold on to in these dark times. At least people don't want to fuck their brothers and sisters. Like, oh, excuse me, they're step brothers and sisters, so it's not weird.
Oh yeah, it's fine. No. It's no big deal. It's just we're pulling a Clueless in here. Don't worry about it.
Oh god. 15-second increase. Yeah. Although there is the alien category reminds me of I have seen I think I saw like a YouTube video about this, but there's a company that makes dildos that lay alien eggs inside of you. Have you seen that?
This is a new thing for me. You're gonna need to explain it, but also I hate what you're telling me.
Yeah. I'm gonna find their website and get put on a list in the meantime by Googling this.
I was just looking at the most viewed verified amateur models. And the third most viewed is somebody named No Face Girl, which makes me really want that to be somebody who fashions their videos after No Face from Spirited Away.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Also, you already know what their sex noises are going to be. Get it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Eh. Eh.
Oh my god. I'm never gonna be able to watch that movie the same. Alien, eggs, dildo. I'm trying to like.
The
I'm having to
words you're
focus really
saying
hard.
are the fucking worst.
Oh, it's called the ovipositor because it posits. Oh, you can buy alien dildos on Etsy. Wow, that's a brave new market for Etsy. Wow, right. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That seems like there would be overlap there. You've got your moms doing their DIY things. They need to get freaky with some alien toys, you know?
Something about buying a bespoke dildo is like weird to me.
All right, I'm not gonna. Oh no, I guess here it is. Why is there? So it's from a company called Primal Hardware, but it's spelled like like werewolf. And this website is so fucking good. Oh God.
I'm gonna regret this, but why don't you send me a picture of this?
I'm sending you the link to the website.
Oh, I hate that popped up.
It's really good. I like free shipping available on U.S. orders over $250. Hey, Primal Hardware, get at us. We need sponsors.
Yeah, we'll advertise your weird perv shit.
No judgment here.
I mean, plenty of judgment, but like, whoa, their logo rocks. I need everybody to know. If you wanted a logo, you already lost because theirs is Primal Hardware, so where WERE.
Where?
It all looks like it's written in blood, and it is around a logo that is a jacked wolfman wearing a hard hat with cuffs with chains like he's in a dungeon.
And he's got like a leather thing on.
Yeah, he's got like a leather harness. I have never seen a werewolf in a hard hat, and it is very good.
Is that how dangerous the sex is? You have to wear a hard hat.
Shit. Also, really, whoa, that's some weird dildos. I do
find the ovipositors.
Is it? It's oh man.
Can I just read you the names of their ovipositors?
Yeah, can I also tell people that they have an entire section of their website called Humpables?
You may.
But yes, I just went to the sci-fi section, and it's a real problem.
Good. Okay, the names of the ovipositor dildos that deposit a gelatin egg inside of you. The first model is called a Bork. The second is called a Blip. Third is called a Galorp.
I want people to know that the Glorp has like octopus legs sticking out from the sides of it.
That's important for everyone to know. And the top of it just kind of looks like a fist.
Yeah, it looks like a baby's arm.
It looks like
and I don't mean that like a size comparison. It's just like a weird like. It's got like fingers.
It looks like a balled up fist, which okay, yeah, like all right. The other ones are Crubera, Splorch, Bedbug, which nobody asked for.
Absolutely. Thank you.
A Brogoth, and a Squick.
I'll get Natalie on the podcast to read us the story Squick. It's set in the Harry Potter universe, and it sucks. That'll have to be on an after dark though, because it's rough.
Oh my god, these dildos have lores.
I just went to the ovipositor accessories, and you're fucking making Jello eggs for this.
You are. You're like, yes, you're making. Oh my god, this sounds like the easiest and fastest way to just give yourself all kinds of infections.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised it wasn't glorp, squick, and yeast infection, because this is a problem.
Oh my god. I know. Okay, so I know that we're like an hour and a half in, but I feel like I really want to sit and read all of these lores. Oh my god. Okay, so
let me pop in here with an interjection. I need people to know that people who are taking longer to come than ever live in Mississippi, and people who are just blasting through and coming right away live in Kansas. Those are some metrics that I just found, and I think people need to watch out for Kansas, I guess, unless you like it short.
Kansas is just yep, they know what they want, I guess.
Also, I guess I'm against the grain because nobody watches porn at 7 a.m.
Those are my prime porn time hours. I don't know.
Also, a lot of people are looking up Japanese porn. What's new?
Oh, states that last the shortest. Idaho. Come on, Idaho.
Yeah! Suck it, Idaho.
We gotta step it up on our porn sessions.
Did you look at the world's most viewed categories?
I'm looking at it right now. Oh, Japanese is at number 1. Wow. Yeah, it is.
Below that, there's a map. It's actually kind of surprising. Hey.
Lesbian? Really? That is
lesbian.
surprising.
Lesbians got the most global coverage.
A lot of Africa it's funny, and Africa is into ebony, and the Middle East, or like up, or I guess that's like northern.
It's the less integrated section of Africa is into Arab, which makes total sense.
Yeah. I like it. They're just kind of like into themselves.
So I mean, that makes sense. Why is so much of Europe into anal is what I want to know.
They're very open-minded.
Russia
really likes their hentai, by the way.
Yeah, that's... Whew. Also, China's way into Japanese, which I guess it's because China can't have Chinese porn.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to note, most of the Americas are into lesbian, and if they're not into lesbian and you're in South America, they're into hentai, which is odd. But Europe, which you would think would kind of follow America, a little bit of like the northern areas of Europe are into lesbian. Everybody else is into anal, mature, and MILF. And I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. I don't know if that's good or bad, but all right.
Yeah, it's Spain. Spain is into mature.
Also, India is into Indian.
I really like that too. We're into ourselves. Fuck you.
Yeah, but all of Russia is hentai.
Yeah, very. I really like that. What else is on this list? Japanese? Oh, yeah, okay. That's China. Huh. Yeah, I would not have thought that lesbian would have had so much global coverage, but they've got it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Top gaining categories. Categories viewed the longest. Mature. Okay.
Yeah, weird. It takes
All
you
right.
long to... Huh. Okay.
Weird. Huh. Um, amateur. Okay. Old/young. I'm pretty sure that's just a mixture of the previous two
Uh-huh.
lists. Big dick.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, that's in the viewed longest?
Yeah.
They're just pausing it.
Uh, Japanese, Italian. I did not actually know there was like people were out here like I got a thing for Italians
Yeah.
specifically. But,
I've never
okay.
looked at an Italian porn site, but
what is um you go to the Italian category, it's just Rudy.
it's just him holding bagels.
Oh, okay. Going way back to A Christmas Prince, she asks him to bring her bagels when he's already in the fucking airport, and that's so rude.
And he brings them.
I know. Like, did you leave the airport, or did you buy like $16 bagels at the airport? Because that's
Probably.
just not realistic.
I'm not gonna lie, I did buy a like $12 bagel sandwich on my way to Hawaii. Sometimes you gotta...
Sometimes bagel sandwich sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah, it does.
Categories viewed the shortest.
Do you
Scissoring.
wanna go to Hawaii and eat a bagel sandwich? Because that sounds better than all this Christmas shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds good. Most searches for terms on Pornhub gay. Wait,
That's where I'm at. I was hoping you'd get there.
what does that sentence mean? Most searched for terms on Pornhub gay. Is that like a section of Pornhub that's gay?
Yeah, I think there's like a toggle, like you can make your
Oh,
Pornhub gay specific.
like dark mode and light mode. It's gay mode and straight mode.
Um, I Korean kind of makes sense. Like there's a lot of Korean boy band stuff, even if that's a little weird. I mean, it's
Yeah.
no weirder than amateur, but I am surprised that Japanese is still like so close to the top.
Yeah. The Japanese really have the porn thing locked down, like
Yeah,
across everything.
I didn't realize they were such like porn, I don't know, royalty.
Porn royalty. Oh, that's sad. That's a bummer. Most viewed gay categories: straight guys.
I mean, it's not that different than amateur if you think about it.
That's true.
Especially because their second most viewed is daddy. So, like,
But there's like a pretty significant jump between daddy and straight guys.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Like that's really strongly in the lead.
Like, the way out in front are straight guys, Korean and Japanese.
If there's any straight Japanese dudes listening, you have a bright future ahead of you in porn.
Yeah, if you want to bang guys too, you apparently have real easy time doing it. I do want to. There's a very small section, the top trending gay male searches.
Mm-hmm.
I just want people to know that the top trending gay male search is Camp Buddy. Yeah, it's between those two.
Where am I? I'm not. Oh, okay. Camp Buddy.
That's interesting.
Is that like going to a summer camp and you find a buddy and he's gay, or what does that mean?
I think that has to be a straight guy's thing. Like, no, come on, man, we're just going camping.
Oh, we're buddies and we're camping, but we're
Yeah.
actually just gonna fuck in this tent, kind of thing. I guess. Okay. Furry. Hey, furry has not made an appearance up until gay male searches.
Thank you, Sonic. Keeping the dream alive.
Oh. All right. Well, let's see. What else? Most viewed categories by gender. Women's favorites by far is lesbian. Okay, that makes sense. Men's favorite, Japanese, by a lot. Okay.
I'm starting to be confused by the whole Japanese thing. There's a lot of different like Asian cultures you could pick from, first off, but
Yeah.
also like is that just like a media thing?
I think I think it probably ties in heavily with like maybe these people are also watching a lot of anime and they're just like I don't know.
Because I think of Pornhub as being like the most vanilla of the like porn
Yeah.
thing. It seems like
Oh,
oh, I just heard Bevan back there.
Bevan.
It seems like the Basement King dynamic of like I watch a lot of like anime, would also want to try and like find the underground porn sites or something. Like
Yeah.
that's just a feeling I have, but apparently that's either not true or everybody is just a scumbag, which is fine. I get it, but
I think that one's pretty likely.
yeah, it probably is the most likely.
I mean, this is interesting. Japanese is the third category for women too. So maybe people just really like Japanese people. I don't know.
Maybe they're just good at marketing.
Like, I guess porn marketing in particular. Viewed more often by women compared to men. There's not really anything in that one that's super interesting. Romantic, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
double penetration.
Yeah.
That's the only time I'm gonna get to say that in a bored voice on the podcast. So.
Mia Khalifa getting searched but more by women. Okay. I don't really know any of these. I like I'm familiar with some of the names, but I have no idea. Like Riley Reid, kind of know who she is. James Dean, just know the name, but
Yeah, I think James Dean, despite not being like big into dudes, that's probably the only face other than like Mia Khalifa is in like general media, so I know what she looks like. I don't think I could name other porn stars though. Also, like number one by a lot is this Lana Rhoades. I've never heard that name.
I like how all of the names are followed by NSFW in parentheses. Like,
yeah, you bet.
Just in case you didn't know, while you're scrolling through all these porn stats, if you click on this link, it's going to lead you to porn.
Yeah, don't type Zilvgoodle into anything.
And that's the top guy in the, I think, gay porn star search. Yeah, most searched for gay porn stars.
Actually, I do know another one. I've definitely heard of Owen Gray. I think he has like a whole bunch of tattoos or something.
His face does not make sense with what you just said.
Yeah.
He does not look like a person who would have tattoos.
His face kind of looks like a guy I worked with named Brian. I think he was gone before you worked there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know of Brian because everything that I ever worked on was still named Brian for the whole time I was there.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that porn star.
That's funny. I was gonna say that he this guy's face kind of creeps me out. I don't like it, but
fair enough. Just to be clear, Brian's face does not creep me out, but the face that Owen Gray is making in this picture does creep me out.
I, on the other hand, am very creeped out by Brian's face, despite the fact I've never seen it.
I do really appreciate the name William Seed. It sounds like the Johnny Appleseed of like porn stars. I'm pretty into that.
That's pretty good. But like instead of leaving a trail of what's the Johnny Appleseed thing? He like leaves a trail of apple seeds, right? That's his
I
thing.
think he comes on everything.
I mean that's where I was going. Proportion of female visitors. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted. Wait, no, maybe it's not. Basically, this podcast summed up in a sentence. Top relative categories viewed by women by state. Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I just got to that.
Idaho, solo female.
That's a very lonely category.
Fetish for Washington, which is just
I guess
boring. Like California, really like your Japanese. This is gonna like test my geography knowledge if I can name all these states.
What's that state? Is that a Dakota? Is that South Dakota that's into feet?
I have no fucking clue where the Dakotas are. The blue feet one?
No, the black feet.
The other feet.
Well, these aren't even like color coded because feet there's like different colors. Okay. I have no clue. Is it?
You're right. There's a few states that are into feet. That's a bummer. Oh, and one of them is Illinois. What the fuck?
I'm gonna call my grandma and ask her why people are into feet over there.
Michigan is into pissing.
Cool.
West Virginia. Oh god.
Smoking?
VR? Wait, smoking? Okay. I think that's Delaware is into cuckold. This is super testing my geography knowledge. This is like, are you smarter than a fifth grader porn version?
Well, so I want to say home state represent Alaska's into parties, and I'm into that. That is the dopest.
That's pretty much in line with literally everything I know about Alaska.
Woo! Party!
I want to sidetrack and tell a little story about the first and only time I've been to Alaska.
Were you in the weird part of Alaska where Evan's from?
Yeah, that's where we went.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd been dating for like a couple of months, and we went up there to visit his grandparents. And
oh, sorry, Bevan,
yeah. And we were meeting up or getting picked up by one of his old friends, and he picked us up. We got in the back of his car, and we're driving down out on this highway, which is an activity in itself because the small town, I can't remember the population, but it's like ridiculously low. There's like no one living there.
That's Alaska.
Yeah, and they call it going out the road. Like it's an activity. Just driving away from the city I'm going out the road. So we went out the road.
Well, you have to give a name to anything that could kill you.
Right. So we're going out the road. We're driving down this highway, and his friend starts like feeling around behind who's driving. He starts feeling around behind him, like looking for something. And at our feet is like a 24 pack of beer.
Yep.
He's like feeling around for the beer, and we're like, "Can we help you?" And he's like, "Yeah, can you pass me a beer?" So he's just driving down the highway, which thankfully is a straight line for the most part, just like sipping on a fucking PBR or whatever. But yeah, that's my only experience of Alaska so far.
That sounds in line. I usually consider that part of Alaska more or less part of Canada, but like everything up in that northern area is kind of fucking weird. Like Calgary's weird too. But like kind of in line with that, I did see a man when I was pretty young walking down the middle of I want to say it was Palmer, and he just had a cocked and loaded crossbow. And like he wasn't aiming it at anybody, but he was just holding it and like walking down the street. And it's like I don't know what he's doing. It's a crossbow's not gonna kill anything that you need to kill in Alaska. Like it's clearly for sport, but like you probably should put that arrow in it when you get away from people.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. That's
I mean,
an idea.
ideally.
It's
But
a
that
choice.
that was the same summer when I was in a tent in the woods and we woke up and it was like my uncle and I, and a moose had just like stood over the tent and shit all down it. So like everything around the tent was just moose pellets, which means they didn't step on us, but they were just standing there shitting on us like for a chunk of the night, and we never woke up. So I didn't die, but
That's fucking terrifying. But it's a really good story, getting shat on by a moose. I saw a video the other day of like somebody in Canada took a video on their phone of like two moose just fighting in their driveway, and they're fucking huge.
Moose are big.
Terrifying and scary. I'm pretty afraid of bears, but I'm also really afraid of a moose. Like really afraid of moose.
The upside of bears is there's usually only one, unless you see like a baby or something. But out where my grandparents are, they have a great house. Like that's my only like relatives I would say are at all rich. And my grandma's place is like on the edge of a cliff.
Mm.
And off that cliff is a giant valley that now you can see like some streetlights because they went in a few years ago and like put actual streetlights in on their main highways. Probably so people could, not die. But you can still see the moose from like a few hundred feet up and a few hundred feet out very clearly. Like they stand out even in like pretty heavy tree cover.
Yeah. They're scary.
Also, I don't want to leave this alone.
What is wrong with the Great Lakes area? If you look at that,
That's
almost everything, almost all of it is one of three things. It's small tits, pissing, and feet. The whole area. There are like 8 states that are small tits, fisting, and feet, and I don't know why it's all there.
Which one
is it? Just
which one is Iowa? It's one of those, isn't it? Is it small tits?
I believe that is a small tit state. Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, that whole area is just the big 3.
I mean, it's cold there. Is it like nobody has those things? You can't pee because it'll freeze. You can't see people's feet because you have to wear boots, and small tits can't exist because everybody has to be like kind of chunky.
Oh my god. Also, if we journey a little bit to the left, I think this is South Dakota.
Yep.
Into vintage. What is vintage porn? Are you like watching on an old film reel? Porn?
Yeah, that's low key the most disgusting porn on this whole map.
It's not even like mature, like we like old ladies, which is fine. It's vintage.
Though I will say, for being like the haven of racists, the South needs to get its shit together because everybody's into ebony porn in like the whole South, and they need to like deal with their own issues, because if that's what they're into, maybe those people deserve to be treated like people.
I don't know. You're making some really bold statements here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all ebony. Oh, and German. Oh, I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, that one's a little
Who's into
troubling.
Germans. It's all ebony, 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 ebony. Smoking, ebony. German.
Also, if you've never dated a smoker, that is not good porn.
I have not.
I want you to travel all the way to the northeast and tell me what you see there. Because I think that's funny to be just on the tip of the country.
Just the very, very tip of America. We really, really like cum shots.
Yeah,
that's what
we're into.
It goes cum shots, hand job, German, cuckold, Euro.
Sure.
So like white people. That's pretty broad, I think. What is European porn? And how is that different from German porn?
Yeah, I feel like Euro porn is just white.
It's just code for white supremacists.
Yeah.
Czech porn, that's not even on here.
Yeah, it is. Go to Pornhub, that's they got a category.
I'm sure they have a category, but I'm looking at...
Yeah, this is metrics. This is science.
Metrics. This is cold, hard facts. There's no room for Czech porn and the cold, hard facts. Not when we out here enjoying solo female and party porn and feet.
Well,
there's only one state that's into fisting. I don't know what state that is.
Also, in 2019, Japanese replaced hentai as the category most often viewed by visitors aged 18 to 24.
Oh, so yeah.
People are growing up, I guess.
You know, we get older, our tastes change, we like aliens more. It's a confusing life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Whoa, what? Those aged 18 to 24 were 174% more likely to view Pornhub's safe for work content.
Why are you on Pornhub at work? Who is doing that? Like, what's the point? What's the point? I want porn, but I want it safe.
Yeah, I don't get it.
What is safe for work porn? But that does kind of go along with this whole I keep seeing weird like BuzzFeed articles about how I don't think it's millennials, I think it's like Gen Z, how they're like having less sex or something. I don't think I think
feel like that's propaganda.
I don't think that's true, but yeah, there's a lot of like articles I've seen floating around that are basically just like Gen Z's not that horny, and I don't think that's true.
I think that is probably more like Gen Z is waiting longer because they're not like
stupid.
They're not as stupid, and they're also not like being told by all their peers, "What, you're 14 and you haven't fucked yet?" Is that like I'm not that much older than you, but I remember that very clearly. Is like teenagers being like, "Why haven't you had sex?" And if that's tapering off, that's great, because fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just because it's, I don't know, the culture is more like open generally about that kind of thing. We have shows like Euphoria. I don't know if you've seen Euphoria.
Yeah.
And everybody's fucking and they're like 16. Okay.
Yeah, that's sure. I guess somebody's doing that.
Everyone's got like sexual understanding and prowess, and they're like good at it.
Yeah. For reference, I lost my virginity while I was like on my way out of college. So like, I guess I was ahead of the curve. That's what I'll tell people. No, and I also bet that could be muddled metrics from people not having kids as often, because they love to blame people who are younger for like, now we can't sell diamonds and turkeys, you fucking assholes, putting us out of business.
You idiots are having Friendsgiving so much that we can't. You're so anti-God and anti-family and anti-kids that our malls are dying.
Chicken strips at At the holiday times? Fuck off. You guys are assholes.
Oh my god. That was a real actual article that I read that people were mad that like college students and like 20 somethings are or like just young people in general are having friendsgivings more and not going home for the holidays because no one can fucking afford to. But they're
Yeah.
mad about that. So
Ah,
that was fun. Oh yeah, didn't we have I think you had something like boomer related. Maybe this is
yeah,
a segue into that. Now that we've reached our 2 hour mark,
yeah. I
I
guess
don't even care.
no rules, just right when we're on the podcast after dark. um, yeah, that video was pretty good. It's done by a YouTube video group called Wisecrack, which is uh, I got into because of Thug Notes. Uh, I'll give a shout out to let me get his Instagram up real quick. There's a really funny comedian, and I think his Instagram is just Greg Comedy. Yeah, it's GERG no space comedy. Um, that guy's awesome, and he used to do a basically a book report video series called Thug Notes, where he played a character named Sparky Sweets. Uh, and it's really good. Like I think he's a literary major, so he does really good like breakdowns of like all the like high school level reading that nobody did but we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so Wisecrack did a video about like the history of boomers, basically, and their clickbaity title was like an OK Boomer related title. Uh, but it's one of their most recent videos, so like they don't move that fast. So in the next few months, you'll see a boomer related video on there. And they went over like the history of that generation and what people give it credit for and what people don't like about it. And essentially, it breaks down to all of the things that the boomers were given credit for. I assume you didn't have time to watch it, right?
No, I didn't.
So the boomer generation is often like given credit for having a lot of like sort of inspirational voices, even if they didn't have a lot of like movements of their own.
Mhm.
And a lot of those voices are from the silent generation, which is only a small thing, but it is important because that's one of the things that I actually give a shit about is the last generation that was similar to the millennials in a lot of ways of how they're like perceived by the US is a generation called the silent generation that was kind of like the positioning of Generation X compared to millennials, where they're like they came right before, but people didn't start going like, oh, this generation, whatever, as heavily because there wasn't anything that notable to them.
Mm.
And the silent generation is like when you see like uh, jazz club, like bebop kind of stuff, and you see like um, beat poetry and all that, like the first rise of like all of those ideas. That was from the silent generation, and they also were um, like most of the inspirational voices of that era that got lumped in with the boomers. So
Mhm.
I think that includes like Malcolm X and a bunch of people who are like very notably like trying to push important things at the time. Uh, but uh, the boomer generation was at the right age to be like inspired by that enough to like go out and sort of be the like Occupy movement like bodies.
Okay.
But directly after that, they essentially got way into self-care and then turned into a generation that only cared about like getting theirs, and that's just sort of been how they've stayed the rest of the time. And that video breaks it down a lot better. Like, I'm just giving sort of the notes of things that were relevant to what I am interested in. But it kind of comes to the conclusion that the boomer generation might have had good intentions at one point, but totally sold out everybody else and is now fucking everybody over. And since that couldn't be a title, they just called it something that sounded more ambiguous. But yeah, I think it's a good video to watch, especially if you do happen to be a boomer and don't get why people are upset about all that stuff. Maybe watch that and understand that, like, a lot of the people that you are in the generation with are total dick bags, and that's the reason. And they do kind of touch on how, like, all of the wealth has kind of been distributed to them at this point, and the people who are, like, still waiting to die who are above them. And it really doesn't look like millennials and Generation Z are going to get anything for a long time yet. So that's fun.
Woo!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Like
That's
to hear.
The uplifting section of podcasts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. That sounds pretty interesting.
Also on the dildo conversation.
Oh, yes, I was waiting.
So we had our white elephant at work. And
oh, no.
and I got this. So
All right.
it looks like a dildo.
Yeah.
A bad one. But it is in fact,
dare I say, a herdy one.
yeah, it is in fact the worst juicer ever.
Okay, I was gonna say it looks like a juicer thing that you juice with.
So what would you not want a juicer to have? Is it compartments where juice could fall into? Because check this out. This is the back of it.
Heyo.
Inside of this, it has a
fucking pocket knife.
Yeah, it's a multi-tool juicer. I want you to imagine me going like, I gotta cut some vegetables, and then I pull this out. I always think like, man, what I need for a vegetable or a fruit knife is I need the handle to be an entire dick. That's gonna really help me get a handle on what I'm doing. It's
that really does look like it belongs in there. Is that a grater?
It's a microplane, but yeah, it's a tiny grater.
Nice.
You could probably zest with it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I could see this thing maybe good for, like, camping.
Maybe, but my biggest problem is there's these holes and crevices that all the juice would get into. So the main thing that it is, as I'm waggling this weird green dick around, it's a juicer. And it's a useless one, but you can core an apple with it, so that's something. Anyway, if you want the worst Leatherman imaginable, it's right here. But that's been worth it for the entertainment value of having that awful thing. The other thing that came with it, though, is a gift card, and our limit was $20 for our white elephant.
Mm-hmm.
And the gift card was for $20, as I found out today. So this was just this was. I know you like it.
It's just extra.
You're probably gonna need this in your home.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure nobody over the age of 55 is gonna ever watch or listen to this. Especially not this is like episode 8. So I will say the pressman at work, who is an old man, took pictures at the party that we had, and then told your old classmate on Friday, your face already reads that you kind of get it, He said that I was showing pictures of you and your sister to my wife,
What?
and we were
No.
talking about how much you look alike.
No.
So that also was part of the work party. Was the day after being like, man, I wish old people. Well, that's the same day that he walked by me, and I think he was looking for approval, and he was like, "Can you believe it? Some marathon runner was running by, and there was a news report going, and he ran by and slapped the news reporter on the ass, and they didn't even give him. They disqualified him. He's just having fun."
Oh no. No.
Yeah. So it's frustrating because I really like the pressman at work, but he really shows that he is not understanding what people are like having problems with.
That's yeah. Wow. How does that even come up in conversation? Hey, I was showing my wife pictures of you and your sister. Like,
Hey, so I was taking pictures of you and your sister last night, and you look like sisters.
oh
I'll
my,
say that.
oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
It's-
just I there's some just components of self-awareness that people of that age were just not born with or learned.
It's
ever.
like it's like once you become old enough to where you could be a grandpa, you just kind of assume that everyone sees you as a grandpa, and that's not true.
No.
Like, it's not good coming from a grandpa, but at least you can be like, fucking grandpa.
I
Well,
mean,
like-
if they're related to you, it is less creepy usually, but yeah, that there's no real good way around that one. Oh god, that's funny. She actually just texted me yesterday, and I checked while you were telling me to see if it was related to that, and it was not.
Oh, okay.
I would have been really happy if it was though. Not happy, but
I would say that we should have her on to talk about her dumb shit, but her dumb shit involves her family just enough to where I don't think that it would be safe for a podcast to not get in trouble later.
yeah, I'm not really up to date on her dumb shit, but
It's
I don't know.
pretty funny, honestly. It would be great, but it would have to be on a secret members only podcast or something.
Ooh, on our Patreon that doesn't exist yet.
Uh-huh.
Put her secrets behind the paywall. It's all her family has to pay to get her secrets.
You're almost done with your non-grape wine.
I am. It really just kind of tastes like Kool-Aid at this point.
That's
Like,
good. That means it's working.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the work party, I had a lot of straight rum, and by the end, it just kind of tasted like, I don't know, the other stuff I put in it.
That would be fun.
If we ever do a cooking show, I might use some of the stuff that we did at the party. They did a poached pear in a Moroccan style that was real good.
Yeah. That sounds really good.
I think Natalie's testing it out, so maybe if we get Natalie on, she can give us a recipe.
Yeah. I would love that. I think a cooking segment would be fun, especially if we do incorporate like more of a streaming visual aspect to things at some point.
We got a cooking section. We've got gnarly fan fiction. I got a great story where a giant squid makes gay love to Hogwarts. That one's really beautiful, touching.
Like the building?
Yeah, the building.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. That one's real good. We got some good Winnie the Pooh stuff going on.
No, stop it! You can't take E.T. and Winnie the Pooh.
We got some good R2-D2 on Optimus Prime action. They talk a lot about how graphite's used to lubricate robots. We got it all.
You know what? Actually, I am very surprised that in these Pornhub stats, there's not more like Star Wars related. Oh, never mind.
Oh, did you find it?
That's not. Yeah. Okay. Most searched for movie and TV characters. So they're this should be numbered and it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is great. The third, number 3, is Teen Titans.
Oh boy.
Which by
definition start. At least it's not the fucking oh shit. Now I can't remember the name. The Powerpuff Girls. That would be more problematic, but that's like the only one.
I'm browsing the list just to make sure. But The Simpsons.
That's gross.
That's gross. Okay, so Avengers is number 1.
Okay.
Which, like, okay.
Yeah, they're adults. That's fine.
That's fine. Harley Quinn. That makes sense. The Incredibles, which we all know everybody just wants to get like strangled by Elastigirl's thick ass thighs. We all know that that's what they were planning from the beginning when they designed that character.
How old is she?
She's like probably in her 40s, I would guess. Maybe. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's not the daughter. Elastigirl's the mom. Okay.
Yeah.
We're all good then.
We're all good.
Yep. Approved. Yeah. You can get.
She's a consenting, stretchy adult. It's fine.
Elastic thighs, no problem with it.
Black Widow, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Joker, okay.
Yes. Okay.
Has some scary implications, but okay.
He does lay down in a circle of knives and baby clothes at some point, so you know he's fucking.
I mean, obviously. Wonder Woman, Harry Potter.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, brace yourself for this next one.
Okay.
Toy Story.
Oh boy.
What? Who?
That's hard to hear.
Like, Lil Bo Peep? You want to fuck Lil Bo Peep? Or is it like Woody and Lil Bo Peep fucking?
I hope it's the latter, but neither is great.
This episode has basically ruled out the possibility that I will ever let my parents listen to this.
Why?
I don't really want my mom to be walking around knowing I just said the sentence Lil Bo Peep and Woody fucking.
That's fair.
Don't like it. What
if it's all T-Rex? What's the T-Rex's name in that?
I don't remember.
Because that would be funny at least. I would be into that.
That kind of tie in with like the alien, like sort of.
Wait,
American Dad. Why?
Oh,
Why?
That's gross. What was the one before American Dad?
I just noticed Elastigirl was like farther down the list.
Oh, okay.
So it goes Toy Story, Spider-Man, Rick and Morty, just gross.
Yeah.
And then American Dad, gross. Catwoman, understandable.
Yeah.
Elastigirl. Batman, I guess.
I feel like Batman would fuck real boring, but I guess it's up to the imagination.
I mean, if I just watched like a regular ass porn and at the end they were like, he's Batman, I feel like that's what it would be.
I mean, it could be a regular porn and at the end
to the Batcave.
He's just like, my parents are dead.
Just at the end puts on like the hat and is like, okay, I guess he was Batman the whole time.
Yeah, he leaves the apartment by putting the suit on.
I actually okay. Now I do want to watch that porn.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Princess Leia. All right. Oh God. Big Mouth.
Oh no. Aren't they in like
They're
elementary
all
school?
like middle schoolers, and they're ugly. Like specifically designed to be ugly.
Yeah, they look like drawn Muppets. That's not great. Are the
Yeah.
Muppets on there?
No, but we have Scooby Doo.
Well, the
Are they teens or are they?
they're close enough to normal adults that it's not a huge issue, but the people who would probably be into Scooby Doo are old enough to where I don't really care. Like that's a little bit
Yeah.
weird.
That's probably like, who do you think? It's probably, I don't know, probably like Velma and Shaggy or Daphne and Fred. That also seems like a boring porn to
Yeah,
watch.
Daphne and Fred seems like the most boring porn ever. Velma, I had an ex that kind of dressed like Velma, and I could see the appeal, but I don't know that they're that interesting, and I hope it's not Scooby Doo. That's really my only hope.
Honestly, did not even consider that
Or
possibility.
Scrappy. They're both.
No. I don't like that at all. Okay, and then it's Power Rangers and The Walking Dead, Captain America. Fine.
Yeah.
But Big Mouth?
Yeah, Big Mouth's bad.
Fucking nasty. People are nasty. Oh, if you scroll down, there's even like a whole graphic dedicated to the Joker.
What about the Joker?
Great. Just how the searches went up, which is like, okay, they released a movie, so that makes sense. Like, I don't know why that's.
Is that just people who want to fuck Joaquin Phoenix?
I guess.
Huh.
Right. That girl that I sent you, or her on her YouTube channel, she did a video about the Joker, and she was talking about how she like didn't like it, and at one point she said that she watched it in like a drive-through theater because she just didn't even want to have to think about whether or not I'm gonna get shot in a theater trying to watch this movie.
Yeah, fair.
And I kind of like I haven't seen it, and I didn't really know exactly what the content of the movie was, other than it's like, man, this Joker dude's real beaten down by the man, kind of.
Yeah.
But I guess in the movie, there's a lot of scenes where he just like kills people or like shoots people or something like that. Yeah. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I know the character pretty well, and if they followed any of the storylines that are attached to any of the characters that like sort of are the Joker, because there's like a handful of them that add like the different universe stuff. Like there's a handful of Batmans too, but like all of them are, if it's focusing on the Joker, all of them could be pro things that are problematic in today's culture. So like I could see the worry.
Yeah. So yeah, like, but okay, so I mean, like, where I was going with this anyway, she was talking about she watched it in a drive-in theater, but she wanted to like watch I don't even remember what she called it, but like a theater cam or something. So she wanted to watch people's reactions to the movie.
Okay.
Just to kind of gauge what it was, because she didn't see it in a theater with other people. And there was a couple of different recordings that she included in her video that were guys like recording the movie, and like during a shooting scene where he's just straight up like murdering someone. I guess there's the scene where he shoots a talk show host or something.
Okay.
And in both of them, the guys that are filming are just like, yay, like, woohoo, like that's fucking sick and stuff like that. Like, you know, the kind of opposite reaction you're supposed to have in those scenes. And that was kind of disappointing. But she had a really funny line where she was like, basically just people like that are proving that they don't have the emotional capacity to handle a plot more complex than like a Marvel movie or the Avengers or something like that. Anyway,
well, that's
that was
so. Just as a like personal aspect of that, the first movie I was ever like actually scared of, and kind of the only movie that I was actually like scared of, it was when I was like 5, was the somebody was watching, well, okay, a little bit of context. A weird trucker lady who my mom took me to stay in the house of, who had a one-eyed raccoon that would like hang out. Look, my family's weird. The point is, she was watching the original Batman movie, like the Tim Burton one, the first Tim Burton one, and well, I guess that's after the original, but you know, and there's a scene where the Joker walks into an office, like a boardroom that like a CEO's in or something, and he is like laughing maniacally and like plays a game kind of, and then like shoots him a bunch of times, but he's like acting almost like it's a card trick or something.
Bevan is singing A Pirate's Life for me.
Oh,
and I
it,
don't know why.
It fits the theme. Joker might have said that. And that was like extremely frightening to me at that age for whatever reason. Like the fact that a gun was in it was already like kind of scary, just because like I knew enough to know guns bad.
Yo ho, yo ho.
But I feel like most of the things that the Joker is in, even if it doesn't translate well, that's sort of the idea, is that like the fact that he's not troubled by killing people is the scary thing. And if you don't kind of understand that, that seems like a problem.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, that reaction to have of like cheering him on, because I guess I can understand why they might have that interpretation, because it's like, oh, these are the people that were keeping him down and not letting him be himself, which is, I guess, a murderer. I get that, but yeah, it's just extremely like you're not following the point, and that's frightening.
Speaking of frightening, taking the edge off the Joker conversation. So this trucker lady's name was Herma.
That's good.
If somebody who lived in the woods, had a raccoon, and drove a truck, said, "We're going to make Herm burgers," I want to hear what you think would be on those hamburgers. They were hamburgers.
You've told me about this before.
I have, but I want to hear, because I bet you don't remember, because it's very
I remember having a strong reaction to it. I don't remember what it was. If someone told me based on that background of the person, they were gonna make Herm burgers. I don't know that I would infer any specific ingredients, but I would know that something is up.
Something's headed your way, and it's not good.
Yeah.
So this will be one of our cooking sections. It's real quick. A Herm burger, for anybody who wants to do it. Also copyright, because I'm sure she has one. You make a thick, like, quarter-pound burger. Just regular store-bought buns. And there's one condiment. And it's exactly the same amount of volume as the hamburger, but it's mayonnaise.
I knew it.
The whole burger, and it's...
That's fucking nasty.
The fact that you would give that a name that's your name is hard to interpret and very troubling.
Does she like fucking love mayonnaise? I mean, clearly, really like mayonnaise. That is so gross.
And I remember it being warm mayonnaise, so I'm pretty sure she was a cupboard mayonnaise lady.
No, I don't like that at all.
Well, when you're 5 years old, you don't have a lot of agency.
Well, I formally apologize that you had to go through that because what is happening? What are you making? I think we have a culinary work of art happening over here.
Is Bevan haunted?
Probably. His newest thing is like Bevan likes to go through phases where he'll make about one dish, and that will be the only thing he eats. Right now, it's what he calls an egg in the middle.
Okay. Is that like a toad in the hole?
I don't know what it is. If a toad in a hole is like among the ranks of what a hamburger is, then no, this is not as bad.
Okay.
But our roommates called these bread in a basket, which that name doesn't really make sense either. But it's basically you just cut a hole in a piece of toast and you cook an egg in it.
That is, in fact, a toad in a hole as well. So
okay, yes. That's what he just calls it, egg in the middle.
Fair enough.
I mean, it makes sense. But I think we're preparing to make an egg in the middle. Is that what's happening?
No.
What?
No!
What? Then why have you left out just like 3 craft singles on the counter? To heat? Like what?
What do you think I'll do with the craft single?
Are you gonna make it grilled cheese?
Yeah, homie.
Okay, that's more acceptable.
You should wake up Bevan with a toad in the hole grilled cheese and see what happens, because that is food innovation.
That is really, that's like amongst the ranks of a hamburger in terms of innovation.
Yep.
Oh my god. I think we might have to make a hamburger at some point.
God.
Maybe that can be on our 24-hour live stream for a fundraise.
That'll either keep us awake or put us directly to sleep. Forever.
A big sleep.
Also, if we do a 24-hour stream, I think we got to be in the same place. I'm thinking about this, and like, it's going to be real hard to stay awake for 24 hours if we're just on laptops.
Also, just speaking for my internet, I don't have a solid 24-hour coverage, and I just
Definitely
know
not.
that off the bat.
We live in America, and our internet is bad, and that's just how it is.
I just found that out. Like, I mean, okay, not that the internet was bad, I knew that, but I just found out that America has, like, the worst internet it's comparatively to other countries. And it's embarrassing the way that I figured this out, but this is how I figured it out.
I do not know this. Let's hear how you figured it out.
You're not going to like this either. So, I play League of Legends. The worst beginning to a sentence ever. And I don't really watch like the professional games, but I kind of, for some reason, it like pops up on my Twitter because I have a couple of I follow a couple of like the pro gamers. So it pops up on my thing, and everybody was complaining at this last like Worlds event or whatever it was that like the US always loses in world tournaments because our internet is shitty, and that's what they say it is. Maybe we're just worse. That's probably a part of
our internet is worse than almost every other nation that plays a lot of League. So definitely that.
Yeah, that's basically what everyone was saying. And I didn't know that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I learned something new about America. I thought that, I mean, you would think being a pretty damn developed country in some ways that we would have good internet, but we don't.
Well, we don't have net neutrality, and we have Comcast, so we're kind of fucked. Our corporate overlords do not like poors having the best internet. So
yeah, they've just fucked us over in terms of league readiness for the.
How am I supposed to fucking juggle in this garbage?
What are you saying?
Are you like in the podcast mode?
Yes, we're podcasting.
Oh, you're still talking. Never mind.
Yes, we are. We're gonna do this for like 4 hours. Also, can you turn the heater off? It's so hot in this room. And you're about to make grilled cheese. That's gonna make it hotter. Anyway.
The After Dark podcast was a mistake.
It's very loose. I've reached the end of my buzzball, and I think that's contributing to the looseness.
Yeah, that's fair. I had considered getting the 32-ounce Hurricane out of the fridge, but then the podcast is just never going to stop, and it's going to get worse and worse, and I'm going to start talking about like some weird nerd shit, and
that's what I want to happen. And also, we still have a bunch of dildo lore to go through, so I don't.
Fuck yeah, dildo lore. Hey, I also just news in my gaming life. I finally got the update where I can keep playing that Star Wars game. So.
Oh really?
That's pretty cool.
Did you just like not touch it until now?
Well, so even worse, I did play it like once a week to check it for like 2.5 weeks or so. And I could only play one room, and there were only 4 bad guys in it.
Oh.
This last Thursday, when I got home, like pretty late at night, I got word that there was an update from my roommate, 4th podcaster, official, unofficial, and I could finally pass where I was, but I couldn't to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up I did the like 4 enemies again, and it didn't do anything, and I was like, shit. So I just left it sitting there with like the map open and like did other stuff, and 45 minutes later the event triggered in the spot where I was standing, and I walked in and there was just like a guy shooting at me. So I did actually get to play past that, but it was like almost a fluke. Like I assume they fixed it, but they didn't fix it super well, but I can play it again. So
yay. That's good.
My game review is it's fine.
It's fine.
It's like it's probably the worst Dark Souls game, but it's better than a lot of other games, so it's doing okay.
Well, that seems like a really good segue into Pornhub's most searched for video game characters.
Okay, if we're gonna do this, I have to use the bathroom. So why don't you take this opportunity to see if you have something else to drink, and I'll be right back.
Okay, also, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording and maybe restart it, because this will take 3 hours for my computer to download.
Also, it's probably better because we can put up 2 videos or whatever.
Yeah.
And
good.